I mentioned there were other ways that you can do the parenting operation in the other video, but I didn't show you how. The other one is you can just hold clip low and you can just drag it onto the thing that you want to be the parent. And then to unparent, you just hit Shift P. And then the other thing that you can do for parenting is you select the child and then you select the parent and you go to Edit, Parent. And then you can grab the child, and you can go to Edit and Unparent, which you can see here is also Shift P and P. They give you the hotkeys there, so it shouldn't be too difficult to use the parenting operation for you going forward. All right, let's see. We've got some of this other stuff. What's body 32? Okay, that's going to be our middle piece, which again, I think I'm gonna do that offline, or maybe I'll speed the video up or something. It's completely identical to the other things that we've done. And then let's see, where's that other thing? For this, I'm definitely going to use primitives, and I'll just show you how that process will work. Let me go ahead and hide the grid here. And I'm going to hide all this stuff here. Select it, hit Control H. So we're going to create a polygon primitive, and I think for that, a cylinder probably makes the most sense. And for the cylinder, that's pretty small. I'm going to go with, I don't know, probably 12 subdivisions will be sufficient. We'll know in a minute. Give it a rotate. Oh, it looks like I set a key on it. You can see I've got this little red line there, and there's all the stuff. The hotkey for that is S. I must have just hit it on accident. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the key. I think you can either just select it down in the timeline and go to delete. Yeah, and clears it up. And you can also, I think you can come over here, and there's probably some way to do it, like delete selected. Yeah. So again, the hotkey for that is S. No big deal. If you hit it, just don't think it's nothing, because it definitely means something to Maya. I haven't really talked about animation at all. I'm not really an animation guy. If that's something you're interested in, and you're a student at the University of Texas, there is a very, very talented animation teacher. If you are out in the wide world, then I'm not sure what to tell you. Probably YouTube has some resources on that front as well. So all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get this thing set up so that we're getting a nice kind of middle ground in terms of what the collision with the surface needs to look like. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and add a bevel. And that's probably okay. There's a little bit of some overlap there between the high and the low, so we'll maybe just add one more edge loop. So we'll go to Edit Mesh and Connect. You can see it actually does a pretty nice job there following that. And then we don't need any of this stuff. This is just going to add cost that we don't want to pay for. Because as it is, this little thing is already 78 polygons, which isn't too bad. Go ahead and soften the edges. It is fairly faceted. We'll have to take a look at the high poly and make a decision. Or sorry, not the high poly, but the final result, and make a decision about. Uh-oh. I probably just grabbed those when I was doing the back. Try again. Pretty easy to do on accident. And let's see, we'll go back to mesh display and soften edges. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff with the mesh display, edge hardening and softening before we bake, so I'm not really that worried about getting it perfect. Anyway, so there's that piece, so we can just do a Control D on it, and you can see it's not going to be lined up perfectly. I guess we've modified it, and the pivot left the origin, but I can do a scale. Actually, before I do any of this stuff, I can't make sure, because this stuff is all changed, I can't just do a negative scale on it and have it be what I need. So I'm just going to freeze the transforms. And now Control D, put a -1 value there on scale X, and I can scoot it across and it'll be totally cool. And because these things are basically the same, I'm just going to go ahead and combine them. So we'll do a combine on that, and those are already combined. So perfect. So I'm going to call this bolt high. I don't think I have a bolt yet. And bolt low. And you can see we've got some empty transform stuff going on there. So I'll just select everything and go to edit, delete by type history, and it'll very helpfully clean all that crap up for us. So what's left? I think it's just this thing. Go ahead and hide that. All right, so I'm going to do a speed video of the retop process for this. It's going to be exactly the same as everything else. So hopefully there aren't any questions, but if there are, feel free to reach out and ask. I'll do my best to get you sorted. All right, a couple things I want to mention before I move on to mirroring this over. So I grabbed the section of the hole from the other mesh because I wanted them to be the exact same going through. This hole basically just, you don't even really see it. It's just something that exists in the other, on the sides. Show what I'm talking about here. Right, so like there's the hole. So I want the spacers retop to be the exact same, so like you don't see some weird difference in roundness as you pass through. So, and it's also a little bit of a time saver. So I just grabbed the geo from the left side, duplicated that whole piece, and then deleted everything that I didn't need, and then just sort of screwed it in place. But I'm going to want to mirror it over, so I eyeballed it halfway over, and then I added an edge loop and deleted those other faces on the other side. So now what I need to do, let me hide the high poly, is I've got to flip it, right? So if I try to do a scale, I'm not really pivoting from the correct location. So I'm going to modify the pivot by hitting the insert key, and then I'm going to turn on my vert snap. Something is, I'm a little bit confused because that circle there, but I think that's just because I turned on, yeah, totally fine. All right, so I'm going to just tap the V key, and then I can snap to any of these verts on that inside edge. Tap the insert key there. I'm going to duplicate and then do a scale and set the scale to -1. I may need to freeze the transform, so that looks pretty good. And then before I do anything else, I'm just going to turn the visibility on for the original high poly, make sure we still line up with it, which we do. Cool. All right, so I just wanted to sort of outline that process there. So now that we've got some clarity, I can go ahead and combine these. I'm going to delete the history, edit, delete by type history. And then I'm going to just do a bridge operation across these faces, and it should work without too much hassle. Cool. And then once that's done, I no longer need this inside edge. I may need to actually do a merge. I don't know why I would, but just in case. Let me double click that edge. Yeah, for some reason it's not. There's something weird going on there. So I'm just going to delete all those faces and we'll just do another bridge. I don't know what the deal is, but it's not a big deal. Cool. Okay, and this is going to be spacer low. Let's just move it into place. Let's take a look at all of the low poly geo. Make sure we didn't forget anything. So it looks like that thing is somehow not in the right location. I definitely should have checked it before messing with it, but the good news is the high and the low are still in the right place, so I can probably just kind of get this into position by looking at where it should be based on the position of that little screw, which holds it into place. And so long as the high and the low are in the same place, then the bake should be okay. Well, I don't remember exactly what was going on there, so I'll just take a glance back at the in fact, I think I can hide this and we'll show. Let's see, it's going to be the left high, and there's like a little slot there that this should fit into nicely. So I just want to make sure I've got both high and low, and then I can kind of move this into place and get it perfect, because there will be some information potentially that bakes from that inset area on the handle itself, so I want to make sure those line up. As closely as they possibly can. Maybe they need to go in just a little bit further. Try to give the impression that this screw here is holding them down. Cool. Alright, well, a little bit of a little bump there, but otherwise not too bad. Let's take a look at it. Go ahead and do a mesh display soften edge. Cool. Alright. Yeah, so in the next video we'll do a quick pass. You know what? I'm seeing just a little bit of ugliness right there. So I want to do a connect. It may mess up what's going on up here to do it with the edge flow, but I really want that stuff to have its edge flow. And it looks like these edges probably need to come down too. So we can just do a connect up here. This one probably go ahead and add an extra edge loop just to make it nice and round. So I just selected these, just did a drag select. I'm going to go ahead and connect without the edge flow because we don't need it here. It's nice planar surface. And I'm just going to connect all these verts up here. Just tap the G key to repeat the connect command. Alright, let's take another look. So you can see where we get those like triangles, or there's like a triangular lighting error. Sometimes it means the face isn't planar. But that could also just be kind of a result of what's going on here. I can try, it doesn't really matter, I'm not that worried about it, I'm just a little bit curious if I can fix it up here. See if it looks any different if I do a connect on that. Not really, we'll leave it alone. Okay, cool. So there's the low poly. In the next video I'm going to do a quick UV pass, and then hopefully we can do some bakes and add some material IDs and get into Painter and call it good.